Good morning. Hello. It's Debbie. Haven't talked to you guys in a long time as far as doing a video. Okay, Shelby, it's my turn to talk, not you. Hey, so I just want to touch base with you. And this is Monday, April the 22nd. And I want to say happy heavenly birthday to my mama. Our mom is always with us, but she's in heaven as well. So happy heavenly birthday, Mama. We love you, miss you, always will. So I just had the inkling to say good morning to everybody and let you know that I'm thinking about you. And I was wanting to give you an update on me and friends. So I'll do that. I'll try not to take too much time. You know me, I can take much time. But that being said, I have done 4 of my 6 chemo treatments, only 2 to go. And then I have 15, I believe, radiation treatments after that. And I'll be doing those 1 a day for 5 days a week. So I'll get that done in about 3.5 weeks, something like that, according to what goes on. So I'm getting closer to the countdown. I'm definitely getting closer to the countdown of chemo, or no more chemo. So I have to admit that the last 2 of the 4 has kind of kicked my behinder parts. Thank goodness for antiemetics, anti-nausea medication. I have 2 different types of those. I have anti-anxiety pain pills. My doctor keeps me with medication if I need it, and I'm thankful for that. My oncologist is Dr. Christopher DeKill, I guess it is. He has done me right and been there if I needed him at any time. So, but like I said, the last 2's been challenging. I've had a lot of heart issues as far as dysrhythmias and high heart rates. With the help of my friend Crystal, she read my ECGs from Samsung Health, and it looked like I was going in and out of AFib and had some junctional rhythm going on. And so I get to see one of my favorite docs I used to work with at the VA. I will see him on Wednesday, and likelihood they'll be putting a monitor on me and trying to see what I'm doing with this. I think it's all chemo induced, but thankfully we'll be getting on that right away, because it looked like I'd been doing some funky rhythms, and even my doctor said, why didn't you go to the ER at that time, Debbie? Why not? Because I waited till the next day. Even my husband said, that is not a right rhythm. I can tell that myself. I may not know the name of it, but it's not right, and you should let me take you to the ER. But I tried to treat myself. Us nurses, we think we're physicians sometimes. I did the carotid massage and the pressure blow. It did help some, and it did put me back into a sinus tachycardia. That's when I was going in and out of AFib and junctional rhythms. And so, but I did go back into sinus tachycardia, like 140s, 130s, 140s. And I tell you what, makes you feel terrible. I mean, terrible. I didn't realize how bad that can make you feel physically, your body. And of course, chemo on top of it. And I believe it's all chemo induced. However, we want to make sure. And so my doctor, after she spanked my butt a couple of times about me not going into the ER when I was going in and out of AFib, which I deserved to have my butt spanked, she got me in to see at Heartland Cardiology, and I am going Wednesday and see what he has to say to me and what we're going to do to narrow this down. And so yesterday, the last 2 days, I've been in a high heart rhythm, like 130s up to even 150-ish. And it just hits just like that. So my history of heart issues is I've never had a heart attack. I've never had anything like that. However, I do have what's called R-on-T phenomenon, and some people call it syndrome. But I was diagnosed with that 20 years ago or more. So Dr. Bajaj, I used to see him for this before he retired, and he put me on some PRN medication to help resolve that kind of dysrhythmia, I should say, when it happens. Well, because I didn't need it for so long, and I've done so well, and I don't have it but occasionally, the medication got old, expired, went over the 6 months that I usually keep medication, but threw it away. So I've been having some real issues lately, and so again, we think it's chemo related, but we're going to make sure. And if you're going in and out of AFib, that's dangerous, you know. That being said, I had to go to the ER. I did go to the ER the next day when I got myself back into sinus tachycardia. But they did all kinds of tests just to make sure everything was all right. And I did have a high D dimer, which with chemo is probably a normal reading. However, they were going to rule out a PE, which is pulmonary embolism, of course, you know that. And they did CT on my chest and everything, and I didn't have a PE, but you know, the D dimer probably stay elevated just because of the chemo. But it is a very fine line with that kind of thing. You start messing with your blood factors and blood clotting factors, rather, whether they get high or low. You are, you know, it's a fine line. I'm bruising very easily. You know, the least little tap, I get a big old bruise. You know, it's like, nice. But I do know that that's kind of expected with the chemo that I'm on. So you try not to get to, what do you call it, hyper? ADHD, not hyper. But yeah, you know, you try to monitor yourself and try to keep your head on straight. Yeah. And you try to think, well, if I am careful, or if I don't do this or I do that, and the next day I'll do this. So that's the critical thinking part of my brain. And so whether I have a brain or not is questionable at this point. And when they say chemo brain, and then you have that on top of ADHD brain, you don't even want to see it. No, it's messy. It really is. But it does. Chemo affects your thought pattern. It affects your memory. So does ADHD. You know, so I got two factors there. It affects your mental health. Believe me when I tell you that. I'm not going to go into all that. And I'm one of those that don't have a lot of mental health other than the ADHD paralysis and all these jargons that explain why ADHD does what it does to you. But I definitely have been challenged in my mental health, and this is a very real thing. So anybody that tells you they have mental health issues, don't discount that because that's a very real thing. But I'm getting through it, and God has helped me. My family's helped me. My friends, you all are helping me. Everybody's helping. So how can I be bah-hum about that? Because, you know, I have the greatest support system ever. And so anyway, I just wanted to touch base with you, let you know I only got 2 chemos to go. I'm still nuts as usual, and that will always be probably. Don't know about the radiation. I'm really considering not doing the radiation. I know that sounds like, really? I mean, that sounds like you got to be kidding me. You went all through this chemo and you're thinking about not doing your radiation. Why would you stop at this now? Well, you'd only have to be there to understand. And so I saw my mom go through radiation, but that was multiple years ago. I mean, just really way back there. And she really suffered. But I know it's come a long ways. Technology has improved, and it won't be quite like I saw. But my poor little mom, that's why they treated triple-negative breast cancer was radiation and surgery. They didn't do the chemos at that point, with her anyway. And she was burnt up, and had tubes in and out of her period at different times because of the fluid buildup. And so she suffered quite a bit through that and had a lot of radiation. I can't tell you for sure if I'm recalling this correctly, but it seemed like she had 40 radiation treatments, 40-ish, something like that. And bless her heart, she was just, oh, it made me feel bad. It made me nauseated to see my mom go through that. But tough as she is, she did. And she got through it. She had 20 good years after that. So, I mean, and so should I say, well, you know, the heck with it. I've done the chemo. Well, maybe I might, but I'm talking to the man upstairs and making sure, because I feel like he directed me and let them catch it early, and it didn't get in my system and my lymph nodes, as far as they know, and I have to be considerate of that. So I am on that thought pattern now, and I'm praying about it. Anyway, that being said, we'll see. I'll let you know. And I just want you to remember all my good friends that are going through fighting cancer. Of course, Deb T, she's fighting active cancer at this time. She's getting chemo and immunotherapy treatments. There's Crystal. Crystal had the major surgery for breast cancer. And she has really been through some things lately. This post-op surgical issues, and she's still holding strong, as she is a strong person, and trying to keep her head up, but it's very challenging right now for her. She's had a lot of pain and a lot of issues in that area. We'll have Rhonda in Kansas City, a friend of mine that's been fighting cancer for several years, and it has now returned somewhere else, and she's having a lot of pain, and she's now going through chemotherapy again. And I can't but say what an example she's been to me through all these years, that she's been fighting it, and she just keeps going. You know, I mean, it's like, if you didn't know that she was fighting cancer, you wouldn't know it. I mean, so she don't complain about it. She just keeps her head up high and goes. And then I have my male friend that just in the last recent past has been diagnosed with cancer, and his name is Gary. He has had chemo treatments, all the routine, and he's had, I think he had 30, Gary, correct me if I'm wrong, said, well, a lot of radiation treatments, and he just did his last one last week, and he got to ring the bell. You know, I can't wait to ring the bell. But I'm so thankful for that for you, Gary. So we're all going to make it. We're going to get there, you know. And now he needs to try to recuperate, because his body has been through it. So that's the issue, is the after response or reaction from what all your body has been put through, been given. And your body has to recuperate. Will it recuperate from everything? There's a possibility, no. I sure hope it recuperates from this, you know. But will it recuperate from everything? I don't know. Some things may hang on for a lifetime, but if you can get most of it recuperated, it's worth it. And so I'm praying for all my friends, the names I've called, and my sister's family, my sister that passed away with cancer a few weeks ago, her husband and her children and her brothers and sisters, which I'm one of them, I suppose, right? It just seems so different. And I don't even live there where she lived in Texas, and her other brothers and sisters do. And it's like, oh man, it's such a big hole. But she went down fighting, and she would want us to do the same thing. Jeanette would want us to keep on keeping on. So main thing is that her husband, her children, her brothers and sisters, and her mother. Can you imagine losing a child like that? No, it doesn't matter which child it is. It doesn't matter how old the child is. It doesn't matter how old you are. Losing a child to cancer or to anything is beyond my grasp to even be able to grasp that. And so Doris, we're praying for you. Danny, Marilyn, Vicky, all of you, and her children, Justin, and her daughter. Her daughter was, and her son was right there for them all the time. And now they're there for their dad. And he's had some major issues. He's had cancer. He had to have surgery, major surgery, before she passed away. So you think you got it bad? You start looking around? Think about it again. And then you may really have it bad. You may, and I'm not saying you don't. But there's always somebody that has it worse, and they are hanging on, and they keep going. It's amazing, actually, the examples of how when you're hit with something that you would have never even believed you would have been hit with, your body goes into double action, and you're surprised, actually, how well your body is doing. I mean, how tough it really is. So just hang in there. Whatever you're going through, God knows. Your higher power knows. Your confidant knows. Keep your head up, like my mama said. Square those shoulders back. Keep that head high, because you are a child of the King. Whatever that King is to you, you are a child of the King. So anyway, I just wanted to touch base with you guys and remember our friends that are going through the battles right now, and pray for them. Keep them up in your prayers and your thoughts and your positiveness of life. Is there anything else I was going to let you know? Chemo brain is a major disaster on top of ADHD brain. My goodness, you guys. It really messes with your mental psyche. It really does. But this too shall pass. Trust in him with all your heart. Lean not into your own understanding. And in all thy ways acknowledge him, for he shall, and that is a promise. Shall is a promise. He shall direct your paths. That's in any way you look at it. So I just wanted to touch base, say hello, and thank you guys for being my best cheerleaders ever. I have received, we get meals. I get cards all the time from my sister in love. I mean, every week I get a card, and it's beautiful, and it touches for that moment. She just almost knows what I'm feeling, or knows how my body's responding or reacting. And I don't even get to visit with her that much, but that card, Magda, those cards, they touch me like crazy. And I know I don't say much about it, but I got every one of them. And I keep each one up all a week until I get the next one. They always touch that part of me that I've needed touched every time. I've had meals, I've had cards, I've had gifts, I have encouraging phone calls, I have notes, I have messaging that comes to me. I cannot tell you how wonderful that is. If you think it's not much, believe me, to me, it's a big deal. And to all of us that are struggling or battling or trying to get through whatever it is a big deal, and we appreciate it very much. Okay? So just wanted to let you know, love you. And love my brother Donnie. He's always sending me messages of encouragement. He's my big brother. He's our big brother. He's the oldest. He always will be older. And he's fabulous. He's wise. He's handsome. He's tall. He's thin. I never was thin, hardly ever. All my brothers were thinner than me. That I just love you for. And but in real life here, I tell you, my brothers have always been encouraging. Oldest brother's funny. He knows how to make you laugh when you want to just barrel down and hit the floor and cry. Before a few minutes you're laughing. You're relieved. You're relieved, you know. Those kind of personalities are special. And he's very special. Love you, Donnie. I love you all. I love you. And I love my Vicky. I love my Danny. I love my Marilyn. I love all my peoples. And that includes my VA peoples. I miss you guys. I really do. Not enough to come back to work, but I miss you guys. I really do. And y'all have been so supportive. Supportive, let me tell you. My chilies, my 5 sons, and their wives, and my grandkids. Oh, I cannot tell you how supportive they've been. And it's just, you just realize what you have whenever times get tough. And I'm very thankful for my family and my friends. So anyway, I will get back on in a couple of days and touch base with you again. I have some lab work I got to do this week, see where I'm at on my numbers. And then next week, I believe I see my doctor, my oncologist. And then the next week, I'll have my my 5th chemo. So getting close, getting this stuff over with. And love y'all, and I hope to see you soon. Talk to you soon. Whatever happens today, you take it and own it, and you take this day like you own it. Monday, bull. Own it. It'll be done before you know it. See you later, Gators. Bye-bye.